guys, it's Daniel Richardson.
Dylan Schumacher.
Citadel Defense. We're here today to continue our open carry series and talk about dealing with police officers while you're open carrying.
I guess I'm just going to ask you, how often have you ever been stopped by police when you're open carrying?
Never.
Never. Okay, so how big of an issue do you think it is?
Well, you didn't ask the question, how many cops have I passed?
How many potential interactions have you had?
Many.
Like a dozen?
Yeah, at least.
At least, okay.
Probably more.
Okay. So, of all that, you've never been stopped, you've never been questioned, you've never been harassed?
No.
Okay. So, in general, again...
And we're talking the cops, look down and notice my gun and then continue doing their thing.
Yeah. I think, again, the fear of open carrying... Open carry is a non-event, guys.
Mm-hmm.
In general, nothing happens. Nothing... You never get assaulted or accosted or harassed. That stuff's rare. It does happen, but it's rare. That's my point. It's a huge non-event, right?
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
If, hypothetically, Daniel, you were stopped by the police officers and they said, "Excuse me, sir," and they want to talk to you, how would you handle that situation?
Well, I think the first thing that's very important, like when you're interacting with any people, when you're open carrying, is to be extremely polite. Don't be defensive, and just be willing to treat people like you would whenever you're not open carrying.
Mm-hmm.
So don't get on the defense. Don't start acting weird. Just talk to them like you would if you bumped into them on the street and everything was going well. And nothing bad was happening, I guess.
Now,
there's no reason to treat it any differently.
What if you feel like they start in with the questions of, well, why do you have a gun there?
Well, you're not breaking the law. I mean, okay, if you're in California and you don't have your permit, maybe you are.
Yeah,
then you should move.
I don't think there's open carry in California.
No, there's not. Exactly.
Okay,
That's my point. But if let's just assume that you're legally open carrying in your state, then you haven't broken any laws and you really have nothing to be defensive about because you're doing nothing wrong. And I know people get anxious about the cops all the time for no reason anyway. So if that starts happening to you, and if that's something that does happen to you, just try and curb it. And listen to that voice in your head that reminds you, hey, take a breath. You're doing nothing wrong. You have nothing to be defensive about.
And so how long would you give them before you do, let's say they're talking to you for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, or what's your limit? At what point are you going to be like, okay, I have to go about my day now?
I don't think it's quite as simple as giving a time limit on it, but I do think that, at least for me, and this is a decision you're going to have to make for yourself, but for me, as soon as I start to feel like they're putting me on the defensive, they're interrogating me, they're trying to catch me in some sort of wrong, simply for being there and carrying a gun, which they would dislike, which again, every cop I've ever bumped into on the street while I'm open carrying has never had a problem with it, but if there's one guy out there, then as soon as I start to feel like he's trying to get me in trouble, I would ask the question of whether I'm being detained or not, and I would cut that conversation off and go about my business.
Would you give them your ID if they asked for it?
If they asked for it, absolutely.
You would?
Because, it's part of the law, at least in Minnesota here.
What if you're not suspected of a crime?
I'm still going to give them my ID. I see no reason to be belligerent and be a problem.
I don't know if I would.
I'm not going to create a problem just to create a problem.
Okay.
At least in this point of my life, and I used to be huge anti-open carry, and that has changed. So maybe in the future I'll be like, no, pound sand, I'm not giving you my ID. But again, I don't see a reason not to comply to that.
Okay. So again, guys, it's a non-event. The chances of you being stopped by a police officer are probably very slim. And if it happens, our general rule is be polite and know your rights. Know that you can walk away and you can ask, hey, am I being detained? And the answer is most likely no. In which case, you say, hey, thanks for your time, officer. Have a great day, and you can walk on.
And how far you want to go with everything, how belligerent you want to be inside the law, and hopefully as a polite person is a decision that you're going to have to make.
Yeah, not belligerent, firm. Or hard line.
Yeah, right. I misspoke there.
Yeah, okay.
Like Dylan said, if you aren't going to give me your ID, then that's something that you have to decide for yourself.
Yep. Well, that's it, guys. We like open carry. We're fans of it in general. I know a lot of people hate on it, but
it's important to normalize guns in society.
Yes, it is. Go back and watch our part 1 on this. There's a reason we're open carry. It's not because we're just making this up to be flashy.
And we're not just trying to make this huge political statement either.
No.
We want to normalize guns in society.
Yeah.
Anything else?
That's it. I'm empty.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Like, dislike, comment. We'll come train with you. Come train with us.
Do brave deeds and endure.